everybody? Happy Friday. Welcome to this week's episode of Marlie's Corner. And this week, the corner is shared by one of her best friends, Izzy. So Izzy's here hanging out. These two grew up together, and she's at the paw.com offices enjoying her time here. But thank you for joining. Welcome to Marlie and Izzy's Corner this week, where we talk everything pets, the people, the pets, the parents that make this whole thing go round. We're super excited this week. We have a very awesome guest. Her name is Marcia Hayden and Charlie. Charlie is a therapy dog, perfect for today, which is National Pet Therapy Day. So we're gonna meet Marcia and hopefully Charlie and get to and talk to her about everything, all the great things that Charlie does to help people out.
Hello.
Hi there.
Hey, how are you?
I am awesome, and Charlie's awesome.
Hey, Charlie. He's like looking into the camera like, oh, it's me.
That's me. Can you see yourself?
Hey, well, how are you, Marcia and Charlie? Thank you guys for joining today.
Thank you. We are wonderful. We're excited to be here and excited to share this special day with you.
Yeah, it is a very special day. You know, the therapy dogs around this nation help so much with a variety of things, and I'd love to chat to you about that today. But before we get into that, for everybody watching, could you just tell us a little bit about yourself and beautiful Charlie over there?
Well, I am a retired teacher. I taught for 40 years in our local school system, and I left loving it, but I knew it was time to do something different. And a friend of mine had told me, when you retire, you don't want to retire from, you want to retire to. So
Yeah.
I began thinking and praying and came up with the idea that I wanted to get a puppy and train him to be a therapy dog. And then go to, go into the school and let the children read to him. And that was kind of my ultimate goal. But it turned out that you can't just train any dog to be a therapy dog. And we had gotten another golden retriever before Charlie. And I was just positive I could train him to be a therapy dog. And he went through all the classes, but he does not have the right temperament. So we began searching for Charlie, and we found him in the same state that we found Jackson, but we got him from a breeder who is a therapist herself, and she handpicked him to be a therapy dog. So we've always said he was a puppy with a purpose, and then we brought him home and began the training process, and here we are.
Wow, that's a great story. And Marcia, what is a therapy dog? So if you have to explain it to somebody, what does a therapy dog do?
So a therapy dog is a dog that is trained specifically to provide affection, support, and for people. And it's often in places like assisted living centers, hospitals, hospice organizations, disaster relief. There's just multiple places, schools, libraries, places like that where the dog can go in and just provide that extra love and support, encouragement to those people who need it the most.
That's awesome. So specifically with Charlie, I'm curious, what does he do to help others?
Well, like I said, initially we wanted him to be a reading dog, and he is, but we go into the classroom, actually we go into the school, and this dog has rock star status. Everyone in the school knows Charlie, and when he walks in the building, the energy level goes up. But we go into the classroom, and when he goes to work, I mean, he gets into school and he is excited and jumpy and happy to be there, but when we walk into a classroom, he knows what he's supposed to be doing. So we say he goes to work, and he sits down with the children. They come to the rug and they read in groups or individuals to him. When we go into an assisted living center, very similar. We go in and he's excited to see everybody, but he is very calm when he gets to the seniors and very gentle. We do tricks for them if they're in a large group setting, and then we do individual room visits, and they just love on him and pet him and touch him, and that's very therapeutic for them because they are missing their animals, or they love animals, and that just touching the dog brings comfort and healing to them in many ways. So, and even in one case just recently, Charlie's just become a certified hospice volunteer, and we went into a room, and he just knew. And he had never gotten on a bed before, but we had him put his paws up so that the lady could touch him. She wasn't feeling well. And he all of a sudden just climbed up into the bed beside her. And she was elated and loved on him. And a week later, she passed. So he knew. He just knew. And that's the kind of thing that's amazing to watch. And other dogs do the same thing. It's not just him, but it's really neat to see the people come alive. If they're not feeling well, they see him and they just smile and they're grateful that he's there. It's an awesome ministry. It truly is.
Wow, that's incredible. It's so fascinating how a dog's natural instincts, when you pair that with some training, how much they can sense things and how much joy they can bring in certain situations where it's much needed. That's incredible work that Charlie's doing. So a typical day for Charlie, what does that look like?
Well, a typical day would begin when we normal get up. He wakes up. Usually he's in the bed with us, and we have our loving time, and then we go through and have breakfast and the morning walk, and then we call it go to work. If it's not going to a school or assisted living center, which he works 4 to 5 days a week, then we work here at home, and we go upstairs to what I call my training room, and we work on his tricks. So Charlie is a certified AKC certified trick dog in the novice level so far. Excuse me. And so now we're working on his intermediate level. And the main reason, it's just extra training, but it's something that people love to see, and they actually ask, can he do tricks? So Charlie can do high five, and he shakes, and he can do push-ups, and just things that entertain them. He's also learning to push buttons and, answer questions, and, he waves bye-bye sometimes. Just different things that will make them smile and make them happy. So that would be, the basic morning, and then, nap time, because after a visit in an assisted living center or a school, he really comes home exhausted. So he takes a nice long nap, and we play and have dinner and an evening walk, and just, that's kind of a typical day.
That's awesome. I'm sure this all really stimulates him, right? It keeps him happy, and I know dogs, they love these tricks as much as it's for our entertainment. It helps them to have a great purpose and to satisfy, and I think Marlie can do paw. That's it. Sit sometimes. But other than that, maybe she needs to be sent to your beginner class up in the trick room.
At least you taught her the company name. She knows paw.
Yeah, she knows paw. Paw is the only thing that she's very good at. So how did Charlie become a therapy dog? Maybe there's somebody watching now that thinks their dog would be a great dog for therapy. Maybe you can help them understand that process.
So when we began training Charlie, and he was around 5 months old, the official training up to, we worked on things prior to that. But when we began, there really wasn't a whole lot of information out there. We did a lot of reading and searching, and finally found that most of the therapy dog organizations require that the dog pass what is called the Canine Good Citizen test. So that became our focal point, and I found a YouTube video that showed what the test was like, what they would have to do, the skills they would have to have. So we, used that to work at home some, but then we took him through 3 basic training classes where we were more instructed than the dog was, but we were taught how to teach him. And when he finished those, of course, the instructor knew right up front that our goal was for him to pass the Canine Good Citizen test. And I think that's very important. If you are wanting your dog to be a therapy dog, make sure that the instructor knows what your goals are. And so as soon as he finished his classes, in fact, a week before he finished his last class, we went and he took his Canine Good Citizen test, and he passed with perfect colors. And then we went on knowing that the next step was to become a therapy dog. So then there are many organizations that you can look at to see which one suits your needs. Then when you have chosen the organization that you want, then you find out how they test, and then meet up with an evaluator, and he went through the test and passed that. And so that's how he became a certified therapy dog. So it is a definite process. It took about 8 months with him, but we started with him very young. It can take up to a year in most cases, but it's a lot of fun, and it's definitely stimulating for the dog. It keeps him active and focused, and it's an easy thing, but it takes a lot of work.
Right.
And I will say this, as a result of going through this and searching for a book or anything that would really tell us how to go through this process, I went ahead and created a website. And if you go to Charlie's profile page and go to his link tree, there's a link right to it, and it's called Paw Prints on the Heart. It's completely free. I'm not trying to make any money. There's nothing sold there. It just tells Charlie's story. It has links to the YouTube video for the Canine Good Citizen test. It tells the books that we used, and I'm working on updating, but it's kind of hard to do all we're doing and keep that currently updated. But everything that we went through getting him certified, even links to the different organizations that you can check out to see which one meets your needs, that's a good way to really start getting the training going.
Awesome. And in your opinion, Marcia, is it best to start, for somebody who's thinking about this training, is it best to start when they're a puppy, maybe a little bit more mature? Is there an optimal age, or does it matter at all?
I don't think it matters. I think it's all about temperament. And like I say, I learned very, very early that not any dog can be a therapy dog. They really do have to have that very calm, gentle spirit. And that doesn't mean, because puppies are naturally spirited and they jump around and they're happy, and you want that. But so it doesn't mean that when they're at home they can't be active and engaging. But there's just a certain temperament that goes with that. Right. And so once you know if your dog, and if your dog just loves to cuddle up next to people or loves for people to touch him and he doesn't knock them over, things like that, then that it's probably the right temperament for that dog. And so that's the key, is that temperament. And then after that, it's any age. I think anybody can train.
Awesome. So temperament over age.
Absolutely.
Gotcha. Cool. And so, being as it's National Pet Therapy Day, are you guys going to do anything special to celebrate today?
Well, actually, this evening we're probably going to do a little video or something and celebrate. But today's his day off. He's worked hard all week.
Good way to celebrate. A little relaxed.
Absolutely, it's his day off, and we'll do some posts and things and I already have that show that it's National Therapy Animal Day, and so that'll probably be the extent of it.
Maybe a couple extra treats here and there.
Oh, the treats are in the pocket at all times.
Awesome. Jeff, do we have any questions from the viewers?
Yeah, we have a few. Well, first of all, thank you, Marcia, for everything that you and Charlie do. And especially thank you for setting up that website with all that information. That sounds like a fantastic resource for anyone who's interested in having a therapy dog. So it's really great that you've done that.
Yeah.
You sort of touched on it a little bit, but a lot of people are asking, are there a particular breed or a particular temperament, or what are the signs you can look for in a dog to indicate that they will likely be a good therapy dog?
I think any breed is good. It doesn't matter. It truly is temperament above everything. And so if they've just got that gentle being, it's just there. And our other golden is incredibly excitable. He has a little bit of anxiety, and we did everything with him that we've done with Charlie, up to the CGC. We didn't even attempt that because he just couldn't go into a place like a building or something and not be so excited, and the pulling and the jumping and the craziness. He just couldn't do it. So you would know if your dog is the kind that can walk somewhere and settle down and, you know, sit by a child or sit by an adult and just be still and let them love on it. They're not offended by you touching them or anything like that. But I don't think I think it's not breed specific at all. Some people prefer smaller dogs. Some, you know, when you go into the assisted living centers, they kind of like a dog that can get in their lap. And so that works very well for them. But then there are those that like that big dog that's sitting right next to them and they can easily reach down and touch. So.
Great.
That's great. And I think you answered this question already about how long it takes of training. You said about 8 months to a year of training.
Right. Mm-hmm. And it depends on the dog. If it's you know, Charlie was a puppy. We started training officially at about 5.5 months. And so he was done by the time he was a little over a year. He was ready to take the organizational test that we use, but COVID hit. So we didn't get to do that until September. So he was about a year and a half when he finally became certified, but he could have been certified at just right at 1 year. Most organizations will not take the dog before they're a year old.
Okay, that was the next question, actually, if there was an age requirement. So basically at least a year old. And then on the senior side, they could be as old as they want to get started?
Absolutely. There's no limit.
That's great. You mentioned, this is a question I had, you mentioned the special hospice training, and first of all, that has to be such a both sad and rewarding experience at the same time to do the hospice work, but it's so necessary, especially now. So what is the special training that was required to be able to be certified for hospice work?
The only thing he had to have was to be a part of a therapy dog organization. He'd already gone through all the training. And I'll be honest with you, I would have thought that it would have been very sad, but when you're there with your dog and you're in the moment, you're focused on the dog and you're focused on the person, and you see the reactions. You just see the joy, even in their last days, of how much that dog means to them, and just being able to touch them and pet them and snuggle up next to them. So it's really a neat thing, and I have yet to, you know, be sorry that I did it. You know, it was not something I necessarily planned. I thought Charlie was going to be a reading dog because I was a teacher, but God opened up these other doors. We did not seek them out, and it was meant to be. I mean, he is truly amazing with those people.
Wow.
So with all the different places that you take Charlie to do his work, as you put it, between schools and hospice facilities, senior care houses, do you or Charlie have kind of a favorite, or?
That's a hard question. I don't know that we really do. I mean, I would have thought that the school would have been my absolute favorite, and it is in many respects because I'm very familiar with it and very comfortable with it, and I love watching Charlie interact with the children, and I'm on the floor with them, and so I see their reactions and I see his reactions. But then when we go into the assisted living centers, it's very similar. I mean, you know, children and seniors are very similar. They really are. It's not as much hands-on, I guess, as it is with the children. I mean, some of those children just lay on top of him, but I can't pick one. I really don't think I could.
Yeah, well, that's a good answer. You shouldn't have a favorite. They're all equally important. Is there one incident or experience that you and Charlie have had that really stands out as unusual or amazing, either in a positive or even a negative way? Just one thing that was like you never expected to happen.
Well, I already shared the one about the hospice situation with the lady, but the other one would probably be, we had gone into a memory care facility, and Charlie was sitting there, and the lady had not said anything. She was just petting him, and then all of a sudden she spoke, and one of the nurses was nearby, and she looked at us and she said, "I have never heard her speak before."
Wow.
That was the first time they had heard her voice. So that was pretty profound as an amazing experience, that just her touching that dog made her speak for the first time in that facility.
That's amazing. Mirroring off what Jeff said, Marcia, we're so thankful for what you and Charlie do, and the rest of the therapy dogs around this nation. You guys help out so many people on all stages of life, from young reading to, to the seniors. So thank you again. I hope you guys have a fantastic National Pet Therapy Day, and we appreciate you taking the time to come chat with us today.
Well, thank you. I would love to see if I could get Charlie to wave bye-bye, but I don't even know if I can wake him up. He took a nap. Come here, Charlie.
He's out, huh?
And I don't know if I can do this. I can't flip it around, so I don't know. No, if he is. Can you say bye-bye, Charlie? Will you wave bye-bye? Will you do bye-bye?
How about you, Marlie? I have to do it for her.
Yeah, say bye-bye. Do it. Say bye-bye. Do it. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Sort of.
Good boy. All right, Marcia. Well, thank you so much again, and we hope you have a fantastic rest of your day.
Well, thank you.
Good weekend, and we'll chat soon.
Good. Happy Pet Therapy Day.
Yeah, happy Pet Therapy Day. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye. Bye, Charlie. Say bye-bye.